Hello everyone, Critical Rocket here with part 4 of the chassis variant series. That's kind of the official name of it now. Just go with it. And it's another Locust. There's quite a few Locusts, and this one is the 1M, which is a Marek variant. I believe that was kind of unusual. It's a bit like taking the Streak version but deciding to go more long range. So this one is 2 LRM5s and a medium laser. Standard version of the build has 2 armour on the legs, and obviously you're definitely going to want to up that. Even though the max armour is only, I believe, 20, you don't want 2. No, not 2 on those legs. I mean, you could, if you just want it to boat a shitload of ammunition for your missiles, but I don't know if it's really worth it. So this variant is basically a harasser? I guess a long-range harasser. It's the extremely poor man's LRM mech. I guess you could name it that way. The LRM5s basically share 1 ton of ammo in the build I made, because remember, regardless of engine size, you've got to have that minimum of 10 heatsinks, and even with an XL190, you still need 3 heatsinks. You could probably run this with standards. The heat's never really going to be an issue for you, though. So if you're bothered about space, then you could switch back down to just regular heatsinks. Doubles are not necessary for this thing. The 1 medium laser is never going to overheat you. The LRMs are never going to fire quick enough, even in conjunction with the medium lasers, to overheat you. But you still need 10 minimum. That's probably the biggest drawback of this entire variant, is ammunition is only ever going to be squeezed in either by having a smaller engine, which is still going to cause you problems with sticking heatsinks in the mech, because the lower the engine goes, the less heatsinks it has internally. Or you have to sacrifice armour, which is going to kill your ability to obviously stay alive very long after you start firing your missiles. And they're only LRM5 launchers, so they're not going to be doing a lot of kill damage. The one thing that the LRMs do give you, on the other hand, is the ability to harass and hit and run, and stay at a relatively safe distance. It's also a good way of confusing the crap out of other players, because obviously no one's really expecting, in the early stages of the game, a mech with LRMs to get around the side of them and pepper them. They start to think it's... I imagine that most players would start to think it's something like a Kintaro or a Catapult or anything that can boat a bunch of LRM5s very rapidly. So it has that advantage going for it. Again, obviously, because the chassis is so small, it can use the terrain to relatively good effect. It can stay alive a lot longer if you get a map like this, like Forest Colony, that allows you to use the hills and the other bits and pieces of terrain details that will keep you alive. I think I used a bit against a stalker that tries to hit me a few times and he just completely misses because of the environment that I can use to my own advantage. In fact, that might be coming up now. In fact, so as you can see, I'm too low down. All the shots miss. And I can keep firing my LRM5s. The one advantage is because they're in the arms, they're high mounted, so you can generally fire over most cover that protects you. But yeah, the 180 missiles aren't going to last you that long. You get, about 24, 25 volleys if you're firing both at the same time, and then you're completely out of ammo. The medium laser is only going to be doing 5, and that's if the target stood still every time you fire. Despite saying all this, though, I actually survived and win this round. I wouldn't say it was down to anything of my input as a damage dealer, but obviously it works well in that I was able to give target information to other LRM boats, which I did here. You'll see that I get, I don't think I get any bonuses for it. I think someone else might have spotted him first, but I kept the lock, so that Mad Cat took quite a bit of damage before he finally moved. I didn't fire on him at all until he finally started backing up and looking in my direction. Yeah, I think at the end of this round I did about 240 something damage, which I guess isn't bad considering the weapons I had. Maximum damage output I could do if I alpha strike something was 15, so not bad for what it was. And yeah, I do get stuck into it a few times. So yeah, 1M, I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's a particularly easy chassis to run. I imagine if you wanted to rebuild it, you're probably going to put SRMs in there, so you can make it more of a close-range punch mech. Again, there isn't going to be a lot of options to you in the regards to energy. Maybe you could swap out the medium laser for a tag, and if you were running a bit lower or with hardly any armor, you could probably put in a lot more ammunition for your LRM5. But that's really if you're only trying to for whatever reason, try and run a Locust that's purely built around LRMs. It's highly unlikely when there are much better options out there. Still, the chassis is fun. If you just want something to challenge yourself with, or just have a knockabout with, it works surprisingly well. I enjoyed it. I would run this mech again. It was quite fun. A bit like the Streak, the 3S I think it was, or the 3M. Can't remember, one of those two. It was one of the earlier chassis variant series videos. But yeah, for some reason I like missile Locusts. Don't know why. It just seemed to be more fun that way. So yeah, as I said, there's a lot more of this match to go, but there isn't really much else to say about it, so I'll just leave you with the gameplay. And thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you at the next chassis series variant video part 5, 6, whatever one it'll be. So yeah, see ya. Critical Rocket signing out.
Warning, incoming missile. New target acquired. Warning, incoming missile. Warning, incoming missile. New target acquired. New target acquired. New target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired. 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 Target destroyed. Target acquired. Right torso critical damage. New target acquired. Right flag critical damage. New target acquired. Target destroyed. Enemy base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured.